to my channel. This is your girl Sean. I'm back for another video. In this video today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a letter that was sent to me from one of you. But before I get into all of that, in case you're brand new to my channel, if you like love, relationship advice videos, fashion related content, lifestyle content, you'll definitely enjoy my channel, so go ahead and subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, become part of the notification gang by clicking that little bell, which is right next to the subscribe button. That way you'll never miss an upload from your girl. And in case you don't know it, I'm an author and I've written 3 books. The first one's called The Dating Game, How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right. My second book, Breaking the Man Code, The Key to Unlocking His Heart. And my third book, Getting Unstuck, How to Create the Life You've Always Wanted to Live. They'll all be linked below. They're available on Amazon, Kindle, BarnesandNoble.com. And if you want to work with me as your personal life and dating coach, or if you'd like to submit your letter for a chance to possibly have it featured in an upcoming video, be sure to send me an email to itscoachshawn@gmail.com. That's itscoachshawn, SHAWN @gmail.com. So I've been doing these letters on my channel for years now. This is one of the rare occasions where it's actually written to by one of my male viewers. So shout out to him. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Without any further ado, let's go get him. Alright, Coach Sean, I'm a silent watcher because I respect your honesty, input, and recommendations. 6 years ago, I had legally made, at the time, the best decision to be married. Young and dumb is the best way I can summarize it. Back then, I had an unrealistic expectation of what the ideal, perfect marriage should be. The longer I was married, the more I felt me lose myself to keep what should be love happy. I was working 4 jobs after I had gotten my bachelor's. I'd get that woman anything she wanted without asking or expecting anything in return. I even burned off my own family because she would always accuse them of belittling her, even after it's been proven time and time again it didn't actually even happen. After a couple of years of being drained and discarded in a one-way marriage, at one of my part-time jobs, there were other women showing interest in me, and being young and dumb, I appreciated the flirty comments other women would say to me, but I never let it go as far as sleeping with any of them. My information was left on a business card for the class I instructed part-time, and one of the women taking my class had sent me text messages. Of course, first thing in the morning, she poured cold water on me and started throwing every object she could find at me. I pleaded for forgiveness and asked her if there were any way possible of us saving our marriage, and she did. She forgave me. 2 years later, we found out that she was pregnant with my daughter. That had been the best thing that ever happened to me. Unfortunately, our home life was no place I'd want for my daughter. My ex was a high-maintenance woman. If it didn't impress her friends, she didn't want it. Wondering why the heck I even married this woman never crossed my mind so many times in one night. It broke a record each week. She'd bring up my past even though I had been taking classes, going to counseling, deleting any outlet that would even provoke the slightest thought to prove that I was changing. She wouldn't have any of it. Instead, she would always make me feel like I was useless. All my efforts to change, to provide for my family while giving her the life that she wanted, which wasn't easy, but I did it all at the same time. I know I've made a mistake, but I was trying until finally it got so bad in our home that I didn't want my daughter to grow up in a toxic household. Divorce has been an option for years, but then more than ever, I've never felt so sure that it needed to happen. I bought my own property while paying for their expenses and lived my life happily, but only separated. When I tell you that the time on my own wasn't for me to fool around or do whatever I wanted, I meant that. That was my time to get to know me for who I am, not who I was trying to be for somebody else. But oddly enough, during that time period of being legally separated, I'd met someone. She was beautiful. Her personality only made me want her even more. She was irresistible when I got to know her. Every ounce of me wanted this woman. Her morals, her beauty, her intellect was beyond anything I'd ever seen, and I knew from the start. I wanted her. I wanted her. You said it twice. I was cautious of what I'd share with her. I was never going back and forth between my past with this new woman. I was done with that ages ago. She knew I had a daughter, but she didn't know that I was only legally separated at the time. That was a genuine mistake on my part. It wasn't too long until my ex found out about this girl, which wasn't my intentions or plans. I didn't want her to get dragged into this. This was the new girl that I wanted to keep. But my ex did the most to keep her away. She would pretend we were a happy family and that this girl, this kind-hearted girl, was the cause for our marriage ending. She planned more family trips I was obligated to go to, or she would threaten harm, far enough to take her own life. Wow. She even tried to seduce me, which only made me even more disgusted and wanted to push the divorce even faster. Bottom line, with my mistakes, I'm going to summarize it from here. So he goes on to say that he has gone to the pastor and he has sought forgiveness for everything that he's done. But the writer of this letter eventually did divorce his wife. He married the new woman and they actually have children together. But the issue is that the ex gives him a hard time with the custody for the child that they share together, their daughter. She even went so far as to try to say that he kidnapped the daughter at one point and had the cops called on him and everything. He wants to know what should he do. So this letter definitely threw me for a loop. I will say that when I first started reading the letter and you were talking about how you had moved on and you were still married, I was planning to roll up my sleeve and I was really going to go in on you. I was going to let you have it. And I know there are going to be people in the comment section who are probably going to let you have it. But what I will say is you've already gone to God about it. You've already asked God for forgiveness. You've already repented, been to church, all those different things. If God has forgiven you, what do I have to say that would really make any difference? You don't need my forgiveness. You didn't write to me because you want me to forgive you. You wrote to me because you want advice regarding how you should handle the situation with your daughter.
Sorry to interrupt, but I definitely had to pause the video for just a second because there's something that I wanted to interject here. I think a lot of this is cause and effect. You know, you say that because your wife was treating you so poorly and because nothing that you did pleased her and made her happy, that you started to find enjoyment in being, you know, flirted with and all of that, and the appreciation of other women. And because of that, when your wife found out, you know, she was even harder on you. It planted a seed of insecurity in her. Even though you said that you deleted apps off your phone and you went to counseling and you did all these things to show her that you didn't cheat on her and that you never would, the seed was still planted. Her biggest fear is that you would cheat on her or that you would leave her for somebody else. And that's exactly what ended up happening. Make no mistake here, you as the writer, you are not the victim. I feel like you brushed over the fact that you as a married man were entertaining single women. Just because you never slept with any of them doesn't lessen the blow of that kind of betrayal. And then the fact that you did move on, that you did have an emotional affair with another woman while you were still married, and that you did divorce her, and that you did marry that other woman. All of that is betrayal. So I feel like a lot of this letter is like, woe is me, or a lot of this letter is you painting yourself to be the victim, and that's not the case. Just because you're sorry, and just because you never intended for any of this to happen, doesn't change the fact that it did. I also think that you are mistaking her pain for anger. I think you've never ever taken the time to consider how she must feel. You're the one that stepped out on the marriage. Whether you have your reasons for it or not, I feel like you did a lot of trying to justify what you did. She was mean to me. She was this, she was that. None of it is an excuse for you stepping out on your marriage. But you still get, at least probably in her eyes, you're happily ever after. Despite the pain that you've caused her, you still get to have a wife and 2 kids and you're happy over there. And she's like, how is this fair? If you were that unhappy, you should have been left. You waited until you found your replacement for her to finally leave. And that is wrong.
I think the reason why she's still upset, why she's still bitter, is because you've gotten closure, but she never did. I'm not sure she ever got a chance to express how she felt about you moving on, marrying somebody else, creating a new family, without ever acknowledging how you hurt her. And I think she's just stunned. After all of these years, she's still shocked that you found somebody and that you moved on and you're happy now. And I don't think she expected you to ever do that. Seeing you be the husband and father that you are to your new wife, it just makes her feel even worse. In my opinion, what I think that you should do is to set up a meeting with her, just the 2 of you, in a very public place, and allow her to express her feelings and allow her to say everything that she's ever wanted to say. Allow her to get it out. I think that's what all of this vitriol is about. Her calling the cops on you and her, trying to say that you kidnapped your child. She's still angry that you never heard her, that you moved on and you got married and you had more kids and you moved out and you found love with somebody else. You've done all of these things, but you never heard her out. Now, she may be no saint, but she still never expected you to fall in love with somebody else while still being married to her. Because of what you did and how you did it, you're still wrong in this situation. I know you think she's a bad person. You have a litany of things that she's done, but still, you made your mistakes as well. I think the best way for you guys to move on from this is for you to acknowledge those mistakes in front of her, with her, and allow her to express how she feels, and let her know, look, we've both done things to hurt each other, but the one thing I think that we never want to do is to hurt our child. I realize that what I'm asking you to do will require you to swallow your pride. But what's more important? You being proud and you being right and you feeling vindicated for what she did to you? Or making sure that you create a healthy and stable environment for your daughter? You said the reason why you wanted the divorce in the first place is because you didn't want your daughter to grow up in a toxic environment. So follow through with that promise. From the way that you wrote the letter, the relationship has been bad from almost the very beginning. I was surprised you guys actually still had a child in that environment. I hope that you guys didn't think that a child would save your marriage, because this is proof that it never works. And if you're watching this, I hope it's a cautionary tale for any of you out there. Children don't save relationships. All they do is complicate relationships, because now you have a toxic relationship with a child there. What's really important moving forward is that you have a record of every single time you speak with her, whether it's via email, whether you make plans in front of people, you have a witness every time. Maybe you and your ex-wife could benefit from having a mediator so that you can sort of, iron out the details of this custody battle. But I feel like until you actually have a conversation with her and allow her to get the closure that she needs, I think it's going to continue to be tense. All of this is because she's never gotten closure. That's why she seems like she's just as mad as she was the day you left. And it's been years now. You've been married. You've had other kids. She's still mad because she's never gotten the closure. That's still something that I feel like you owe her. You still left the marriage and found somebody else while you were married to her. And you've acknowledged how wrong you were to do that to everyone else, to your new wife, to God, to the pastor, but you've never acknowledged how wrong you were to her. All right, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Be sure to thumbs up if you did. If you want to hear more of my thoughts and opinions on life and love, consider purchasing one of my books. As I said, I've written 3. The first one's called The Dating Game: How to Find Yourself While Looking for Mr. Right. My second book, Breaking the Man Code: The Key to Unlocking His Heart. And my third book, Getting Unstuck: How to Create the Life You've Always Wanted to Live. They're all available on Amazon, Kindle, BarnesandNoble.com. And if you want to work with me as your personal life and dating coach, or if you'd like to have your letter featured possibly in an upcoming video, send me an email to itscoachshawn@gmail.com. That's itscoachshawn, SHAWN @gmail.com. Now, this one was a doozy. It was a tough one. This is still my opinion. If this man has gone to God and asked God for forgiveness, who am I to drag him right now? Like, if God forgave him, it's just, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, if he came to me unrepentant, if he came to me like, yeah, I moved on, so what? Girl, I would have rolled up my sleeves and I would have got him all the way together.